Hi, survivors. This is me, Purpose Ann, reporting to you. Hope you guys are doing well because what's going on in this world is not. Today, you guys, I want to talk to you guys briefly about how I am very troubled. I'm troubled about the times that we're living in. I'm troubled about the times that we are facing, where we are going as a community, where we're going individually, first of all, as a community, collectively, and as a nation. It's just not looking good. It's not looking good, y'all. And to be honest with you, since the beginning of this pandemic, everything has been lining up to get to where it is now. And now it seems like we're on a downfall from all these things that it heightened up from the climax of the pandemic, where people getting excessively sick, people passing, unfortunately. And we send our condolences to all you guys who have been victims of that, whether you lost a loved one or you lost your job. That's another thing I want to hit on, how people lost so much money and lost work, and people had to alter their lifestyles and just get up and uproot from somewhere they probably grew up and they were living and move somewhere else because all of the fatalities that was going on in their neighborhood, or maybe all the politics that was going on. And now we're in this climate where we're dealing with hyperinflation. I don't care what they say, y'all. This is hyperinflation. It's excessive. When you're talking about rent going up on people, an extra $500, $700, and for some people it has gone up thousands of dollars. And landlords continue to do these things to their tenants. I don't know, y'all, if some of the property taxes are going up. I paid my property tax in a couple of months. I haven't seen the property, but that's in Texas, go up. So I don't know if this applies to. I know in New York, it's a whole lot of hyperinflation up there, and I'm pretty sure the property taxes are severe and very excessive there, because I have friends that have moved to Georgia. I have friends that moved outside of New York State that weren't even in the city. They have moved to Virginia. So, y'all, we dealing with some crazy, crazy stuff and some crazy, crazy times. We talking about food, the cost of food at an all-time high. That's why I like to encourage you guys, if you can go out there and get some food right now, some non-perishables, try to stack up on as much as you possibly can, and also grow your own food right where you are. Because in a minute, food is going to be scarce. We're dealing with all types of issues right now. I was in the CVS the other day, like I showed you guys that video. Nothing's on the counter. I had a prescription from my doctor for something, an injury that occurred from me working from home, sitting down all day. And I like to encourage you guys, if you're working from home and you sit down all day, you better get up and walk around. Because I deal with sales, and the worst thing that we can do to our bodies is sit down all day. I was sitting down all day because I'm pressed for money like everybody else. And I'm like, the more people you talk to in sales, the more money you have chances of getting, because it's a numbers game. So I'm sitting there all day long. Before you know it, I started having complications in my body. So anyway, I have to go to the doctor. They give me this medication. I go to the CVS. They don't even have the medicine. Y'all, this is happening here in America. And not only in America, it's happening abroad. It's happening everywhere. But when we start seeing that stuff here in America, the free world, the greatest country in the world, we in trouble. Tell you straight up like that. We in some serious trouble. When you're going down your aisles at your local grocery stores and you're seeing that there's gaps on the shelves, you're in serious trouble. Y'all don't take this stuff lightly. We in some serious trouble out here. I'm very troubled by it. I'm not going to sit up here and lie. I've been talking about this for the last couple of years and showing people what I've been seeing from New York City all the way to here, from here to everywhere else I go. But now I'm feeling like we're hitting the end. We really hitting where all this stuff is just going boom, and the cities are going to just be on fire. They already are, but it's going to be where it's uninhabitable. And this is why it's important for us to make plans and strategize right now what we're going to do with ourselves and our families. You have people, I know when I was starting the community living, and I had all types of inquiries, to be living in the country. It was so many people talking about they just ready to move, and then but they were concerned with all the preps they have. And especially if you have, like myself, a lot of canned goods, a lot of water storage. You're like, man, how do I transport this stuff? How do I get it to where I need to be? This is why it's important right now, while you have a little time, to make plans. You know, there are safe zones in this country. And I think, I don't know if I've done a video about it or not, but there are safe zones where people can go, where, you know, you may be safer than you are in certain areas, especially in these cities. You know, we're not going to be able to trust the water supply, the food supply in the cities. And from what I'm seeing, it might be no food left in the cities, y'all. Because if you're looking at your market, you're not seeing anything. If you're hearing about all these food warehouses getting burned down or something happening, and this is the way in the system in which we are used to doing things. We're used to going to the stores and getting food. People have become so lazy. We all have. We let these people do us, y'all. We allowed this. We should have never strayed away from how our forefathers lived. They were always growing their own vegetables. They was always getting up 3 or 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, plowing the fields, doing what they had to. I'm talking about as far as self-reliance, not for somebody else, not in the form of slavery, but it's in the form of being self-reliant, where you don't have to go out here and be dependent on everybody for everything. Y'all, in America, we are lazy and spoiled, and now we in serious trouble. And if you don't start now, preparing yourself and your families and your bodies for what lies ahead, cut down on that eating, start growing some vegetables, try to find some land, some ways of getting out the cities. It's really, the list goes on and on. But these are some of the most important and most basic. You're going to be in trouble. And there's no telling what's going to happen with the water. And with this weather, the weather, oh man, I'm telling y'all. Sporadic tornadoes and hurricanes just popping up in places. Weatherman Plus put out a video yesterday or day before yesterday, or a post about over, I think it was 75,000 or over 100,000 people without power. So you may have power where you are now, but that might not be the case tomorrow. Have you thought about what's going to happen when the lights go off and the grid go down? What you and your family going to do? Well, if you haven't, I suggest that you do it now. Right now. Right now. And if you are fortunate enough to get money and still get money, I suggest, if you don't have solar generators, get you a solar generator. You know, get you some things, some preps and supplies that you're going to need. You have to imagine in your mind right now, what will I do right now if the grid goes down? What would I do if these cities become so violent, which they are already, so crime infested? It's right here in my neighborhood, it's right here on my doorstep. Somebody knocking down my my door, God forbid, or trying to get in my house because they need food. Well, we do know we would protect ourselves. Well, I'm just saying, you have to prepare yourselves for these things. We have to prepare ourselves for these things, because people are going to do whatever they got to do to eat, y'all. I'm telling you that now. And to feed their families. People are not going to just, not people who have a big sense of survivalism. They're not going to just go hungry like that, y'all. And when people get hungry, they're going to get violent. And when people ran out of money because these jobs are shut down. If you're fortunate and blessed enough to have a job right now, you better do the right things with your money. And if you don't know what to do with your money, you better go to some of these financial channels. I'm telling you, you better do something right with your money. I'm very troubled by the times that we're facing, y'all. And not troubled in meaning worrying, but being prepared. Being prepared. That's the thing that we can do, you know. It's not looking good. And this is going on everywhere, y'all. We all gonna feel the effects of it. We all gonna feel the effects of it. It's no joke. People who were millionaires and high class and middle class, and they've been wiping out. When you hear millionaires talking about, where they once were millionaires talking about they going to food banks to get food, you better open up your eyes. Get prepared now, y'all, before it's too late. Please follow me on my other platforms. Links will be in the description. If you're looking for land in bug-out areas, I do have some for sale here in Texas. If you're looking for bug-out areas for you and your family, I have some for lease. You can lease for a very small amount by the year or either by the month, whenever you feel like you have to get out of the cities. It'll always be available. Also, if you're looking for survivalism gear and survivalism things, I do have some things on my website. Water purification tablets. I have the iosat potassium tablets. I think I'm saying it right. Excuse me if I'm not. In the case of a nuclear event, y'all, we don't know what's going to happen out here. We're going to have a nuclear war, or will we have a civil war? People are predicting a civil war. You know, we have to just get prepared for these things. The links will all be in the description. It's all on my website. And you guys watch this world, watch the weather, smell your water, boil your water before you use it, and keep surviving.